Welcome to Purple Nerd Channel, home for all those who geek out on all things Prince related. We have a lot to cover on this episode, so let's go ahead and get all the business out of the way. So if you don't mind, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you don't mind, please subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all the new episodes coming. And also, if you wouldn't mind considering joining my Patreon page, I'll have a link for that down below. Emancipation was released November 19th, 1996, peaking at number 11 on the Billboard Top 200 and number 6 on the R&B charts, number 18 in the UK, and making it into the top 20 in 12 different countries, selling over 2 million copies on its initial release. Several singles were released: Betcha by Golly Wow, which peaked at number 31 on the Billboard Top 100 singles, number 10 in the R&B charts, and number 11 in the UK. The Holy River, which peaked at number 58 on the Billboard Top 100 singles, and number 19 in the UK. Somebody Somebody, which peaked at number 15 on the R&B charts. Face Down, which did not chart but is one of my personal favorite songs off this album. And I Can't Make You Love Me, which also did not chart. There was a promotional single for the single Slave, which was handed out at the December 9th, 1995 concert at Paisley Park. There was also a cassette called NYC that was released and featured live versions of Jam of the Year and Face Down. It was only available through 1-800-NEW-FUNK. Videos were released for Betcha by Golly Wow, The Holy River, Face Down, and Somebody Somebody. Prince promoted the album with a live concert that was played simultaneously on BET, MTV, and VH1, and broadcasted live on several radio stations across the US. This 30-minute concert was performed at Paisley Park. Prince also did several interviews to promote this project, the most that he had ever done for any other release. These include appearances on The Chris Rock Show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, The Today Show, where he dressed up as Bryant Gumbel, as this was his farewell show, The Rosie O'Donnell Show, and even the show Top of the Pops, and even appeared on The Muppet Show. More singles, EPs even, and other promotional materials were planned on being released, but unfortunately, EMI Records went bankrupt, which was the record label that actually distributed this album. This project would be many firsts for Prince. It was his first release not on Warner Brothers, as his contract with Warner Brothers expired a week prior to this album's release. It was his first triple album, his first album to feature covers, and Prince was even quoted saying that this was the album I was born to make. The album is broken up into 3 CDs. Each CD has 12 songs, and each CD is exactly 60 minutes long. This was done obviously on purpose, and Prince would go on to explain that the reason behind it was it had something to do with the constellations and how they were tied into the building of the pyramids. Prince actually attempted to release a triple album with Warner Brothers twice in his career and was denied both times. Those projects were Crystal Ball and The Dawn. Warner Brothers also limited his releases to 1 album a year. Their reasoning for not letting him do giant long triple albums and only releasing 1 album a year were both done so they would not, as they put it, flood the market with Prince music, as they believed it would dilute their sales of his albums. Which I kind of find it funny that they would say that, being that Emancipation was not only a very successful triple album, but it was also the 3rd Prince release that year, as Chaos and Disorder and the Girl 6 soundtrack was released earlier that same year. The project actually started off as a single disc album, and there were 3 different configurations, the final being New World, which I actually did a video on this abandoned project, and I will have a link for that video at the end of this video. Prince would end up taking these 3 single album concepts and actually merge them into 1 triple album, which would eventually become Emancipation. The songs are all sequenced in a particular way that many will say that it gives each disc the ability to stand alone as its own album, while all 3 together share a united theme. And those themes vary in a lot of different opinions. The first theme, or concept should I say, that I hear a lot about is the love, sex, and liberty concept, with Sex actually being the first disc, Love being the second disc, and the third disc being Liberty. And then there's the past, present, and future concept, where the first album is Prince telling tales of his past, the second disc being his present, this is of course Prince in 1996, and the third one being what Prince views the future will be like. I've also heard the argument that all three albums are just simply the tale of Prince and Mayte's relationship. Well, like I said at the top of this video, we have a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and dive into disc 1 of Prince's magnum opus, Emancipation. We open up with the song Jam of the Year. And I was very particular in using the phrase "we open up," as right before this song plays, you hear a sound effect of two large doors opening up, as Prince is kind of like welcoming you into this album, this new experience of him being totally free of a contract and able to make music however he wants. This song is a laid-back party groove featuring Rosie Gaines, as this was actually recorded in 1995. There was also another version of this song recorded, kind of like a remix that featured rapper Dougie Fresh, as Prince had plans of releasing a Jam of the Year EP which featured both the songs, the album cut and the remix with Dougie Fresh, as well as some other remixes of the song. Unfortunately, like I mentioned before, EMI went bankrupt, so they did not have the finances to go ahead and release another release, that being the Jam of the Year EP. Prince would go ahead and take Dougie Fresh's verse off this song and put it on another song, that being Push It Up, which was released on New Power Soul in 1988. Next is Right Back Here in My Arms. Every time I hear this song, I always hear like a little bit of Michael Jackson influence in the way that Prince actually performs the vocals, because it has that little bit of like Michael aggression in it. In the song, Prince is begging for his woman to come back to him as she has just left him for unknown reasons. The song samples a line from 99's song 3 Shots, which is one of several songs that Prince had recorded with this poet for her unreleased untitled album, produced by Prince. Next is Somebody Somebody. In the song, Prince has decided that if he can't be with the woman that just left him, that he will go and find someone else, because he really doesn't want to spend the night alone. The song was written by Prince, Brenda Lee Eager, and Hillard Wilson, and was originally offered to Mavis Staples in 1992, before being recorded by Derek Hughes in 1994. Which his version of the song was never released. Prince would rework this song in 1996 for this project. Up next is Get Your Groove On. This is a super cool party song, and the song like actually takes place physically at a club that's having a big party. And it has some absolutely hilarious crowd banter going on as you hear these two ladies as they try to like navigate through the club and like through the crowd, and they keep running into like really weird people as they're trying to find their friend. And the best part, I think, of the whole like crowd characters we get to hear is towards the end. It's obviously played by Prince, but it's like a redneck good old boy that is getting denied access to the club as he doesn't meet the dress code as he's trying to get in wearing jeans and cowboy boots. Another cool fact about the song is Prince actually gives a shout out to D'Angelo, which he was obviously a huge fan of Prince, and a lot of people called him like the next Prince when he came out with his first album. But I gotta be honest with you, like the first time I heard this song was on the live, telecast that was going on, and I don't know, something about Prince not singing the song in his falsetto during the live version, during that live set, it just made the song more, powerful, upbeat, a little more aggression to it. I don't know, there's a lot more energy behind it is what I'm trying to say. And when I hear this version where he's kind of doing his really like subdued falsetto, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't have the same energy. Not saying that this version is terrible, like this is still a really cool song, but I just dig the live version a whole lot better. Next is Courtin' Time. Put on your good dress, baby. It's courtin' time. This is a fun, jazzy, swing sound type of song, and it happens to be the oldest track in this collection, as it was recorded in 1992 during the recording sessions for the Love Symbol album. Up next is Betcha by Golly Wow. This is a cover of the stylistic song of the same name, recorded in 1972. The song is almost like note for note identical to their version of the song, except that Prince is hitting like Mariah Carey level octaves in his falsetto in this song, while Michael B is just pounding at the drums. This is the first song that's a cover on this album, as there are actually several covers on this project, because for whatever reason Warner Brothers would never let Prince do covers. Next is We Gets Up. This is another party anthem, which borrows some elements from the song Children of the Sun from Maite's album Child of the Sun. This song also samples sounds from the Super Mario Bros. Video game. Next is White Mansion. This is a song where Prince goes back to his beginnings and talks about the struggle to make it in Minneapolis, and how he never gave up and hoped that one day he would actually make it. And not just make it, but make it big and get that big white mansion on the hill. There is some spoken dialogue in this song performed by Maite's sister, Janice Garcia. Next up is Damned If I Do. In the song, Prince describes a relationship that he has with a woman that he can just not make happy. He gives different examples and scenarios of when he's tried to please her and has failed every time. He even says that when he's right, he's still wrong in her eyes. There's this unusual line in the song where he says, "I won't do it like Kevin." And on many sites and different documents I was able to find, it seems that he is referencing the director of Waterworld, Kevin Reynolds, as it's like a metaphor of "I won't make a big mistake," referring to the financial failure that Waterworld was, as in case you didn't know, it was like one of the first $100 million budget movies, and it made like $10 million at the box office. Next is the horrifically sad, yet sexy, yet beautiful, I Can't Make You Love Me. This is a cover of the Bonnie Raitt song of the same name, recorded in 1991. Prince's vocal performance on this song is powerful and very, very emotional. Next is the funky, hip-hop centric Mr. Happy. In this song, Prince lets all the ladies know that his nickname is in fact Mr. Happy, as he can satisfy all of your desires and needs, keeping you happy all the time, thereas his nickname is Mr. Happy. On this song, we get our first listen to Prince's new hip-hop discovery, rapper and artist Scrap D, who just obliterates this track with his lyrical assault. And speaking of hip-hop, this song actually samples two Ice Cube songs, What Can I Do and Microphone Check. And up next, we close out disc 1 with the song In This Bed I Scream. In the song, Prince painfully apologizes to those he mistreated and hurt in the past. The liner notes actually explain that this song is dedicated to Wendy, Lisa, and Susanna. Wendy and Lisa obviously being members of the Revolution, and Susanna, Wendy's twin sister, Prince was at one time engaged to. Prince actually sent the song to them prior to the release of the album as a way to apologize and to kind of start an open dialogue. Unfortunately, Prince didn't really follow up with them until about 2 years later. I find the way this song ends to be very interesting, as the song musically sounds very upbeat and happy, even though the subject matter that he's singing about is about repairing relationships that he kind of ruined. The song ends in kind of a downer, as the music is very dark and it actually has like a Trent Reznor 9 Inch Nails vibe to it. I will see you on the next episode where I go through disc 2 of Emancipation. And so until that next episode, I wish you heaven.